Your brain is hardwired to need solitude. For introverts, being alone isn't a preference. It's as crucial as charging your phone. We're about to uncover the scientific reason why your social battery drains faster, and why that's actually your superpower. It all comes down to a single, powerful chemical in your brain. Dopamine. You've probably heard of it before. It's often called the feel-good chemical or the reward chemical. In simple terms, your brain releases a little bit of dopamine when you experience something positive or rewarding. It's the tiny spark of satisfaction you get from eating a delicious meal, the rush you feel when you win a game, or the sense of accomplishment after finishing a big project. This chemical is a master motivator. It essentially tells your brain, "Hey, that was good. Let's do that again." It's what drives us to seek out experiences that feel rewarding. But here is where the path splits, creating two fundamentally different ways of experiencing the world. It all depends on how your brain is built to handle that dopamine. For the half of the population known as extroverts, their brains are designed to be less sensitive to its effects. Think of it like someone who needs a lot of sugar to taste the sweetness in their coffee. An extrovert's brain requires a significant amount of stimulation to get that satisfying dopamine buzz. They need bigger, louder, more frequent rewards to feel energized and happy. This is why social situations are like a goldmine for them. Meeting new people, being the center of attention, engaging in fast-paced conversations, all of these activities provide a steady stream of the dopamine they crave. For them, a crowded party isn't draining. It's a charging station. They often leave a social gathering feeling more alive and energized than when they arrived, because their brains have been flooded with the very chemical that makes them feel fantastic. Their internal reward system is screaming, "Yes, more of this." Now let's look at the other side. The introvert's brain. For an introvert, the situation is the complete opposite. An introvert's brain is born with a high sensitivity to dopamine. Going back to our coffee analogy, they only need a single grain of sugar to find it perfectly sweet. Any more than that, and it becomes sickeningly overwhelming. What feels like a fun, energizing rush of dopamine for an extrovert feels like a tidal wave of overstimulation for an introvert. It's simply too much, too fast. Imagine your brain has a volume knob for stimulation. An extrovert walks into a loud, bustling event, and for them, the volume is set to a comfortable level 5. They can hear the music, enjoy the conversations, and feel invigorated by the energy. But an introvert walks into that exact same room, and their highly sensitive brain cranks that volume knob all the way up to 11. The lights seem brighter, the chatter sounds like a roar, and every small interaction demands a huge amount of mental processing power. This isn't a choice, and it isn't a weakness. It is a hardwired neurological design. Your brain is simply built differently. This is where the concept of the social battery comes from. And it's not just a cute metaphor, it's a real biological phenomenon. When you, as an introvert, are in a highly social environment, your brain is working in overdrive. It's desperately trying to manage and process the flood of dopamine and the sensory overload that comes with it. Every single conversation, every handshake, every moment of eye contact costs a small but significant amount of your mental energy. It's like running dozens of complex programs on a computer at the same time. At first, it might handle it, but soon enough, the processor begins to overheat, the fan starts whirring loudly, and the battery percentage plummets. This is why you can go from feeling fine one moment to feeling completely and utterly drained the next. That feeling of being peopled out is your brain telling you that its processing capacity has been reached and the battery is critically low. You need to get to a charger fast. And for an introvert, that charger isn't more stimulation, it's the absence of it. It's quiet, it's solitude. It's a space where your brain can finally stop processing the overwhelming flood of external data and begin the slow, necessary work of recovery. Society often misunderstands this fundamental difference. Introversion can be mistaken for shyness, antisocial behavior, or even arrogance. But it has nothing to do with any of those things. It's not about disliking people. It's about the high cost of interacting with them. An introvert might genuinely love their friends and enjoy meaningful conversations, but the neurological price of that interaction is simply much higher. Think of it like this: an extrovert has a brain that runs on a different operating system. You wouldn't call a Mac a broken PC, would you? Of course not. They are both powerful computers, but they are designed to function differently, running on unique software and optimized for different tasks. One isn't better than the other. They are just built for different purposes. The introvert's brain isn't a faulty extrovert's brain. It's a system designed for a different kind of engagement with the world. This wiring explains so much about the introvert experience. It's why many introverts prefer deep, one-on-one conversations over superficial small talk. Small talk provides very little substance for a very high neurological cost. It drains the battery without offering any real sense of connection. A deep conversation, however, while still energy-consuming, can feel more rewarding and worthwhile. It's also why an introvert might suddenly go quiet in a group setting. It's not because they're upset or bored. It's because their brain has hit its processing limit and has shifted into energy-saving mode. So, the next time you feel an overwhelming urge to leave a social event and retreat into your own space, know that you aren't being rude or antisocial. You are responding to a clear, powerful signal from your brain. Your need for alone time is not a social preference. It is a biological imperative, as essential to your well-being as sleep or food. It's your brain's non-negotiable method for resetting itself after being overwhelmed by a chemical it is beautifully and powerfully sensitive to. But if an introvert's brain finds the world's primary feel-good chemical, dopamine, to be overwhelming, what are they running on instead? How do they find a sense of reward and happiness? The answer lies in another powerful but much quieter chemical messenger, acetylcholine. If dopamine is a loud, thrilling rock concert, acetylcholine is a beautiful symphony heard through a pair of perfect headphones. Both are rewarding, but they offer entirely different experiences. Acetylcholine is the brain's slow-burn reward chemical. It isn't responsible for the quick, flashy highs you get from external surprises. Instead, it provides a deep, calm, and lasting sense of well-being. It's the quiet satisfaction you feel when you're completely absorbed in a good book, the peaceful focus of working on a creative project, or the simple contentment of being alone with your thoughts. This chemical is directly linked to your parasympathetic nervous system, often called the rest and digest system. It's the part of your body that promotes calm, conserves energy, and lowers stress. When acetylcholine is flowing, your mind focuses, and you feel centered and grounded. To understand its power, we can look at the different roads or pathways these chemicals use in the brain. The dopamine pathway is a short, direct superhighway built for speed. An external event happens, and boom, the dopamine hits, delivering a quick jolt of pleasure. It's all about reacting to the outside world. The acetylcholine pathway, however, is the introvert's preferred highway. It's a much longer, more complex route that travels through the parts of the brain responsible for our most profound abilities: deep concentration, learning, long-term memory, and thoughtful reflection. When you engage in an activity that requires you to turn inward, your brain isn't using the dopamine superhighway. It's happily cruising along the scenic acetylcholine route. This is why solitude isn't just about escaping the noise for an introvert. It's about activating a powerful internal reward system that makes them feel truly engaged and alive. This is what's happening in real life when you enter a state of flow. Have you ever been so lost in an activity that the world around you seems to melt away? You lose all track of time, your actions feel effortless, and you are completely absorbed in the task. This magical state, whether it comes from drawing, playing an instrument, or solving a complex puzzle, is powered by acetylcholine. It helps your brain filter out distractions and dedicate all of its resources to the task at hand. It's the chemical that allows you to have a rich, vibrant inner world. The activity itself becomes the reward. This reveals a core difference in how introverted and extroverted brains are motivated. An extrovert's brain is constantly scanning the environment, asking, "What's out there for me?" It's looking for social opportunities that will trigger that satisfying dopamine release. An introvert's brain is more inclined to ask, "What's in here for me?" It finds its greatest rewards by diving deep into a single topic, exploring the nuances of an idea, or organizing its own thoughts. This is why many introverts are fantastic strategists and creatives. They have a natural ability to sit with a problem, turn it over in their minds, and analyze it from every angle. This deep, analytical thinking is the acetylcholine system working at its best. So, when an introvert feels that deep need to recharge, it's a two-part process. First, they must escape the overwhelming flood of the dopamine-driven external world. The constant chatter and social demands are like being in a nonstop hailstorm. Finding a quiet space is like finding shelter. But the recharge doesn't truly begin until the second part kicks in: the activation of their own native reward system. Being alone allows the brain to finally switch gears. The loud, overstimulating dopamine system powers down, and the calm, focused acetylcholine system boots up. This is why the recharge doesn't feel like nothing. It feels actively good. Reading a book, listening to music, or even just daydreaming triggers that gentle, pleasant release of acetylcholine. It's like plugging into a charger. You can feel the energy flowing back in, not as a jolt, but as a slow, steady, and deeply satisfying replenishment. This also explains why introverts find small talk so much more draining than a deep conversation. Small talk is socially demanding, which drains the battery, but it's too superficial to engage the acetylcholine system. It offers a high cost for no internal reward. Understanding this dual chemical system is life-changing. It validates the need for solitude not as a social failing, but as a biological necessity. It's not about avoiding people. It's about managing your energy by spending less time in environments that overwhelm your system and more time in environments that fuel it. While extroverts are built to chase the exhilarating highs of dopamine, introverts are designed to cultivate the lasting internal contentment that comes from acetylcholine. They are simply running on a different, more sustainable internal power source. So this isn't just about feeling tired after a party. It's about a fundamental difference in your brain's reward system. Understanding this is the key to embracing your introversion instead of fighting against it. But here's where it gets even more interesting. This same neurological wiring doesn't just explain your need for solitude. It's directly linked to how introverts innovate, how they solve complex problems that baffle others, and how they lead in a way that is quietly powerful. The way this impacts your creativity is something most people have completely backward.